Everybody in your life is in the middle of something. Our tendency is to treat people according to where we meet people. And this is the part that I told you would be challenging. Some of us, if we meet somebody and it seems like they're in a position to help us, we are good to those who we think are good for us. Some of us, if we meet people and we see them as a liability to our social credibility, or maybe a liability to our time or our energy, we have a tendency to treat people according to where we meet people. Christian maturity does not treat people according to where you meet people. Christian maturity never judges the man by the moment. Let me be inclusive. Never judges the woman by the moment. Never judges the book by the chapter. Never judges the potential of someone by the problem that they are currently carrying. So, you find in life two different approaches. Main character energy, which is kind of like, I'm focused on what I'm doing, I'm focused on what I'm becoming, I'm focused on my goals. And sadly, a lot of this gets peddled in the church as spiritual growth, but it is not sanctification, because sanctification and self-help sometimes are a little different. Self-help is sometimes about what you can do for you to reach the goal that you set without God. Sanctification starts with God's goal that He wants to do that is much bigger than what you see right now. Moses did it his way, he became a murderer. Moses did it God's way, he was a messenger. And all I'm trying to get you to see is that it's a matter of perspective. Tell somebody, move it to the middle. Come on, tell the person on either side of you, move it to the middle. Tell both of them in case the first one doesn't like it. Tell the second one. So you got a backup plan, move it to the middle. Amy, I'll never forget something you said to me. We got cut off by somebody in traffic. This has been years ago. I never forgot it. Amy lives her life with whatever is the opposite of main character energy. She lives her life with Christ-like nature. I guess that's the opposite of main character energy. It's not like she's a side character. She's just more Christ-like than me. And I was talking about the person who cut us off in traffic in a certain way. That wasn't very mindful of their potential in Christ or their value to God. And I said, Amy, how do you never get mad when you get cut off in traffic? I've never seen you road rage. And she said, well, I like to play a game. I like to pretend that the person in the passenger seat is pregnant and the person driving them has to get them to the hospital because their water just broke. I don't know if you remember that, but I never forgot it because I also like to play pretend when somebody cuts me off in traffic. I like to pretend that I'm not a pastor. And I never even met Jesus. And I never even heard his name. I like to pretend like I'm a terrorist. I like to pretend like I've been training as an assassin. I like to pretend like God sent me to teach you a lesson. Can't let you get away with that. I saw it as a shift. Now here's the picture that the Lord gave me. We're going to work this out on the fly because honestly, I kind of thought of it last minute. When we finish singing at the church, usually they bring my pulpit to the stage and they put it in the place where it goes. And we do it in a way where it just kind of signals a shift to say, we've worshiped God with our singing and the melodies. Now we are going to worship God through his spoken word and his message, and both are worship. So when we position the pulpit, the camera shots also change. You will notice that you no longer see the drummer very much once it's preaching time. You no longer see Scotty, as handsome as he is and as dignified as he looked leading the South Carolina State Choir last week. I mean, he's got that main character gift. But everybody switches positions. Somebody say positions. Now say perspective. Okay, now that we're in this part of the message, the perspective has shifted, not because I'm more important than anybody on the stage, but because it is my time to deliver the message that God has given me to share with you. Therefore, the camera operators have to be instructed at this point. You no longer need to show Otis. You no longer need to show Scotty. They'll be back when we sing again. But for now, this is our focus. Now, here's what I want you to understand about the way a lot of us live our lives. If they disobeyed that order, and just go with me for this picture because I'm going to show you a lot of why we stay stressed out. I'm going to show you a lot of why we stay resentful, bitter, demotivated, angry. I'm going to tell you why a lot of our passion goes out because people hurt our feelings. If at the moment that I take this pulpit, the camera operator just decides to rebel and go like, I think the podium is boring. Now, camera operator, do what I'm about to say to illustrate my point. We have not worked this out, so I hope it goes well. Just put the camera somewhere else that has nothing to do with this and show them what I'm talking about. And again, we did not plan this. I'm just working this illustration through with you. Wave at the people, Otis. And as suave, as debonair as he is on those drums, it is a distraction at this moment to show the drums. Now go back to what you're supposed to be shooting. Not because I'm better looking, not because of status, not because I'm the boss around here, but because of purpose. Purpose determines position. Get the picture and then we'll break it down. Purpose determines position. So show them the Otis shot. This is me focusing on something that is meant to be peripheral in the moment. Show them the tight shot. This is me focusing on what is being spoken from God. And if you keep doing this, you're going to miss this. Clap your hands. I thought that turned out pretty good. Now, of course, put it back on the drums. Takes 2 men to carry this out most Sundays. I could do that. I could carry the burden for a little while. I'm pretty strong. I curled some 50s yesterday. I could do it for a little while, but I don't think I could do it for long. So which one's easier? Go back to Otis. Which one's easier? For me to carry this? And move it to the middle? Or stay on Otis. For them to do this and move it to the middle. So God said what you're trying to do by lifting, you could do by looking. I divide Moses' life. Can I preach this like God gave it to me? Come on, I'll behave in Fort Worth. I promise I'll represent you well in Detroit. I'll preach polite in Toronto. I'll do it, but this is my church where I can preach it dirty, where I can preach the word like a bush coming up out of the desert ground that won't burn up no matter how long it's been burning, that won't give out no matter how much it's gone through, that represents the very life of Moses himself, whose perspective is being shifted from the first 40 years of his life, which started in a basket, past the 40 years of his life that he spent in Midian, and now this bush. A basket, first 40, a bush, next 40. But the 40 years that we read in one sentence is the middle. Now, I guarantee you, it did not feel like the middle to Moses. I'll tell you how I know. The verse I read you in Acts chapter 7. Oh, I'm so glad I got that New Testament perspective on Moses. Because if I would have just read, he was tending sheep, a bush burned, we would have thought we're meeting Moses at the beginning of his story. But for Moses, it didn't feel like the beginning. It felt like the end. And the Bible says that when Moses heard this, he fled, verse 29, Acts chapter 7, to Midian, where he settled. He settled. He wasn't passing through in his mind. He settled in Midian and had 2 sons. That's not something you do on a quick trip. That's not something you do just passing through. He's in a place called Midian, and it feels like the end, but to us it looks like the beginning. And I need you to remember, so you have Christian empathy, that everybody you meet is in the middle of something. And we could be nicer to people on road rage if we said they must be in the middle of something very important. They must be in the middle of giving birth to a child. Maybe that child will be the next Moses. That's how Amy does it. I'm like, maybe they're gonna die before they get there if they cut me off one more time. That's me. Main character energy, Christ-like energy. And, I feel it strong. When you realize that everybody you meet is in the middle of something, you will be more merciful. The middle will make you merciful. The middle will make you merciful. It will make me and it will make you more sanctified in order to stop seeing ourselves as the point of every pursuit. To stop seeing ourselves with the destination over our head, rushing through the airport, trying to get somewhere. And here's Moses in a place that seems like a destination. Feels like a detour. It's not the beginning. It's not the end either. Moses doesn't know that yet. And neither do you when you're in it. You know, that's the thing about it. When you're in it, the middle feels like the end. I'm talking about failures, and I'm talking about moments of setback, and I'm talking about closed doors, and I'm talking about rejection. You know, it was interesting to me to study about Moses, and I wanted to give you this because I thought it was very psychologically and theologically aligned. So, Greg, the Bible goes on to say that he was sent to deliver the children of Israel. And he was sent to deliver the children of Israel, but the children of Israel resented him. He is sent to someone who resents him. He's not all Hebrew in their mind. He's not all Egyptian either. He is a middle child. When you are in the middle, it can be difficult to find where you fit in. Someone told me one time my preaching was too black. In fact, they said, I used to listen to you on podcast. I was surprised to find out you were white the first time I saw you on video. But what they said was, you might want to consider modulating your preaching in order to reach a broader audience. I said, what exactly do you mean modulate? They said, sometimes when you do the really high preaching and the organ starts playing, it's a little distracting. And I said, it's only distracting for you because it is different to you. And if you think that I preach like I preach because I did a market study on ways to incorporate different ethnocentric backgrounds into a message so that all people will feel included, you're crazy. I preach how I preach because when I was 16, Chris Dixon invited me to join the Voices of Unity Gospel Choir, where I was the only white one in the whole choir. I stood in the middle. I didn't sway in rhythm, but I stayed in the middle. And because of that, my life was informed that there are different styles and the same substance. So I don't have to apologize to you for any weapon in my arsenal that God gave me to get this word across. Yeah? Because I don't have to preach like I'm white. I don't have to preach. I can move it to the middle. I can do it either way. Pentecostal, Baptist, Episcopalian, Catholic. I can Hail Mary. I can thank you, Jesus. I can do it in tongues. I can give a TED talk. I can preach it how he gets it to you. Because I'm a middle child. Don't label me. Touch your neighbor, say, don't live in me. child. All the middle children give God a praise. I'm a middle child.
Hey, thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. I hope you were blessed today. If you were, share this with somebody. Like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, what we can pray for you about. Hope to see you back here again really soon.